There's nothing worse than going to your sister's dance recital sober. Twirl, spin, froth at the lips with cuteness. These Ritalin-taken 8-year-old girls dressed in sparkly sequin bee outfits, dancing and singing the song I Wanna Be Free by some shitty group covering the Monkees. And it really bothers me because it's $10 for one beer and I didn't bring weed with me. So I just had to sit there taking it all in, of act after act, of dance after dance, of cuteness after cuteness, and I wanted to puke. But I couldn't because I didn't want to pay those prices for a beer. And then finally, the finale. All the girls on stage, auditorium filled, waiting for that grandness, that last note to end the evening right. One of the dance instructor ladies gets up to the microphone and says, "This is for the men and women overseas. We got him. We finally got him." And then a remix version of the song In the Navy starts playing. And that would make sense because all the girls are wearing sparkly sequin Navy outfits and everyone's dancing and everyone's cheering. And then you hear this pop-like gunshot sound, but it wasn't a gun. It was just a party cannon shooting out streamers and confetti, and everyone's dancing and everyone's singing. So I walk up to the ritzy refreshment stand, hand the guy a 20, and buy 2 beers. Thank you. That's my political poetry. I hope that. Man says a dishonest ghost haunted his house. Man claims ghost's name was Kevin. What we allowed to enter us is never the same as what we allowed to sit next to us. The ghost made me do it. The ghost made me do it. Sometimes the exorcism doesn't work. You stay the prodding probe of anything that can fit. You say there was no permission when Kevin haunted your house, blaming the past for the manipulation of your present. Say something real, something cinder-like. There is always something inside that guides what we do, that helps us cope when apparitions, apathy, moral cores. When we hurt each other, the ghosts need to blame us as much as we need to blame them. We all are a haunting. We all are a hurting. We all are a healing. We all have ghosts. Thank you. Whoops. In the 80s and 90s, the band Kiss was my rebellion, and oh, what a stupid rebellion it was. Puberty is a periodic table of evolutions. I found revolution in redundant art. I found revolution in male, straight, hairy chest stereotypes of what I thought I wanted to be. Pancaked me in some sort of slow syrup ooze of misogyny. Everything was blurry. What I must obtain was an act of rebellion. What I can have the most of was an act of rebellion. I always believed what the reviews told me. Acrid, the music now. But back then, it's what my pubic hair grew out of. It was my blue sky, my necromancer in kabuki makeup, materialistic, dissatisfied artist who couldn't quite comprehend the chords, but still delivered the meat to the deli. But after a while, you discover various other types of artists, various other types of hair. So I bought a razor, shaved my chest, and glued it to my face. Thank you. So someone earlier mentioned dead poets. I think, yes. So I'm going to continue that theme. My heartbeat wants to be heard. I used to only care about dead poets, the ones who burst forth from the fire, only to become the fire, only to burst forth through me, for everything dead shall rise within me. I used to only care about dead poets because we are all buried inside ourselves, and when your body is a cemetery, you are never alone, because a cemetery is a cemetery because of the lives left in it. There is a storyline here. It starts with depression and it ends in anger. And I can feel the tipping point, the beast, the bristle of flame igniting suicidal emotions, only to realize this suicidal fire has burned for far too long, too open, too cruel, too lonely. I used to only care about the deadened things, and then came the lithium, and then I used to only stare at the deadened things, and then came the coke, and oh how I became the deadened things, and then came the soberness, and now I only write about the deadened things. Everyone tells me I look like Robin Williams, and I don't know what they're talking about. Everyone tells me I look like Robin Williams, and I know exactly what they are talking about. Poets like sad, damaged, and broken down things. I used to only care about dead poets because they are so easy to talk to. Poets like broken, damaged, and sad puppies. But then I look around this room, this light, these glorious eyes are stars amongst the unraveled tapestry of the universe. And I gotta tell you, I used to only care about dead poets, but it's the ones who are living that are keeping me alive. All right. Thank you so much. I am from Staten Island, unfortunately, and I am obnoxious and loud, and that is what you're hearing tonight. So thank you so much. So something that Buttered Roll and I thought of doing was exchanging a poem to read. So this is a Buttered Roll poem called Singularity City. New York is utter annihilation in slow motion, the Big Bang in reverse. Gradual Gomorrah, a funeral march toward the event horizon, a candy-coated cyanide capsule with a slow release. The city is so singular that inspires me to babble. I slept inside of her for one night, and my native tongue is yer. I need a priest. I need a priest. Call the MTA. I am metro possessed. Sledge-monic possession. The sidewalks are speaking for me. I'm spewing incantations at the subway grates, bellowing blessings for the strap hangers a few stories below my feet on the onward bound. May they arrive at the epicenter of this brutalist metropolis and shoot the rabbit hole in the rotten core. Buttered Roll. Your laugh in that was everything in that poem. Like I had to stop. Like, oh my God, I want to laugh so bad. Yes. Is anyone here a fan of comic books? Okay. Okay, cool. I actually teach a course on comic books. I'm very into comic books. When I say the MCU, do you know what I mean when I say that? What does that mean? The Marvel Cinematic Universe. Fantastic. The MCU, or the Medicated Cinematic Universe. It's interesting how life serves us. Our heroes find paychecks here. Our heroes find throats here. Each paneled page, a devil in artist clothing. I am all for what scientists give us, but I am not for what scientists take away. Each devil paneled in pharmaceutical clothing. I am all for what artists give us, and I am all for what artists take away. The last time I was diagnosed was on page 316, 317, 318, and 319 of The Joker, The New 52. The last time I was depressed was at the age of 42. I am 42. I can't tell the art from the pills anymore. I don't know how to color in that kind of lie. I can't tell the poems from the pills anymore. I don't know how to scream that kind of lie. I can't tell the capitalist from the provider anymore. It's interesting how life tricks us into believing in us. It's interesting how believing in us tricks us into thinking there will always be a rabbit in the hat, into thinking that I didn't snuff that bunny from hoping a long time ago. What doesn't kill you will only make you long for the day that does. What helps you live will only make you long for the day that did. Trying to pick up your prescriptions at the comic book store, trying to pick up your subscriptions at the pharmacy. It's interesting how life serves us. We often look for our heroes by the milligram. We often look for our healing by the pharmacy. And even when I read my comic books, I am high. And even when I take my pills, I am high. And even is all I want to be, is all I want to read about how the damaged always win, about how the damaged are always medicated into believing they always win. 20, right? Awesome. Okay, fantastic. Thank you for listening to me yell and scream and, read depressing poems about comics. I'm going to keep the depression going. I'm blah as hell, and I'm going to take it, and I'm going to go tanning. Are we playing the game, who can say something stupid? How does the future become a memory? And why don't I remember reading about it? Why are certain novels the search for identity? Why are certain novels the telling of identity? Why are certain novels telling me not to search for identity? Why are writers accountable but editors are not? Is this some sort of warped sense of humor tour? Each tooth waiting its cue. Why does the microphone elevate the sound but not the content? How it stares back at you in follow, in accept, in how much more will we endure while passing through windshields? Why do I keep my enemies close but my phone closer? Is that Godzilla's tail hanging out your mouthra like a tongue, or are you just going to lash out like a helicopter blade and say something crab-itch? Why do only 6 eyes stare back at me? What's the difference between shadows in dungeons and shadows on CAT scans? Are those roller skates hanging from power lines? Why can we go no further than what has been taken away from us? Are you advising me not to say something stupid? What came first, the windshield, or the person passing through it. Fantastic. I have no idea what that poem means, but I'm going to read 2 to 3 more poems for you, and that'll be the end of my set. Thank you for listening to the yelling. I am part of a press called Great Weather for Media. Every Sunday, we do a reading at the Parkside Lounge, 317 East Houston, from 4 to 6 p.m. If you're interested, that press will also be accepting submissions starting in September, and I'm part of another press called NYSI that will be accepting submissions starting in September. So here's a short poem. On a bank. There's a grin that can only be relieved within interest. When you have held it in for so long and need to spread like deer antlers all over, the sweltering steam created cascades the night with cool hands as I think about how many fees I have had to pay to take out my own money. Or the closings by banks on my block who serve as the middlemen. I finish with a gentle wiggle to make sure there is no fee. There's nothing as satisfying as peeing on a bank and doing it for free. Woo! All right. Some more political stuff. Maybe this will just be my last one. Thank you for listening to me yell, scream, and all that stuff. A poet walks into a bar and becomes anxiety. Too much, too much, too much, too much. Coffee, 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 coffee. Not enough, not enough, not enough. Brain, not enough. Brain, not enough. Brain, not enough. Brain chemistry, not enough. Not enough of what ticks, of what ticks, of what ticks is always talking. And did you hear about the poet who walked into a bar and became a librarian? What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? The average it takes enough, enough, enough. These ticks, these ticks, these ticks. Not enough, not enough, not enough. Brain, not enough. Brain, not enough. Brain, not enough. Brain chemistry. Coffee, coffee, coffee. Too much, too much, too much. Look at the pelican. Look at the pelican. Look at the pelican. Predominantly pale plumage. Predominantly pale plumage. This jaw, this beak, this jaw, this beak scoops the 70% of us who are just as fucked up as the 30% of us. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Predominantly pale plumage poeming, predominantly pale plumage poeming. Look at me, all fucked up. Look at me, all fucked up. Look at me, all fucked up. This jaw, this beak, this jaw, this peak. Too much, too much, too much. Coffee, chemistry, brain. Too much brain, too much brain, too much brain. Anxiety walks into a bar and becomes a poet. Thank you for listening.